Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I'm here with day 25 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. And today's sketch is by Caryn Adams Kidwell. And it is a cool sketch I think that you could really do a lot with and look at in a lot of different ways. So I normally on the 25th would have turned this into a Christmas layout, but that will be coming later on today. But I have these pictures of me and my bestie in an astronaut costume. So I have pulled out some papers from this Paper Studio paper pad and pulled some embellishments from my stash. So I have my papers, some embellishments, my pictures, and this very cool sketch. So let's see how this goes. So I really want to stick predominantly with these 3 sheets of paper. And if you've been watching and sticking with me throughout the last couple of months especially, I am really trying hard to get through some of the papers in my paper pads, because once I started using collections, they kind of got lost and forgotten. And so that would be 2 years ago this coming summer's when I first bought my first collection. And then it's just gotten crazy ever since. So I really wanted to try and get used the papers and work on getting some of these paper pads used up. Now there's a ton left in this paper pad, so I definitely am not getting anything used up necessarily today, but I am using 3 papers and I only have 1 long scrap and a small scrap left when I'm done out of all 3 of these. So there are definite ways for you to use paper where it's still, on your layout and not just getting used to get used. So I've matted my moon paper with that blue kind of galaxy looking paper so that it would stand out on this black and silver star background. And so I then mat my pictures on that same blue paper and then back them on white so that the white will help it stand out and pop off of this layout. So I do love how this turns out. It is definitely different. This big feature in the middle is so unique, and maybe it's just the way I'm looking at it, or I don't know. But the stars on it made me decide I wanted to use my astronaut pictures. And of course you could change that to, I could have done Christmas and used snowflakes, all the things. The other thing that made me think about was if you had a large picture and a couple smaller ones, you could do this, and that larger rectangle in the middle could be a picture instead of layered papers. But I took it as layered papers, and then instead of an actual strip across the top with the title, I put my title up there when I get to it. So I think there's so much for interpretation on a sketch, and some sketches seem more, I don't mean this in a negative way, more rigid to where you almost feel like things need to go exactly where they are on the sketch, and this could just be me. In some sketches, especially hand-drawn ones, those usually give me the idea and allure of flexibility and being able to kind of move things around. But there's something about this, and maybe it's because it doesn't take up the entire page. I felt like it was even more fluid to where I could move things around. I don't know. Maybe I think a big part of it is I'm a very literal person. That's why it's really hard for me to put something random on here that doesn't have anything to do with us being in astronaut costumes. So that's why you see planets and moons and stars and all that kind of thing, and a lot of little word phrases and stuff that go in that same theme. But that doesn't mean that I'm always that way. It's just I have to really work on it. If it's to get off of a themey kind of concept, I have to really put myself out there. And there's nothing wrong with working themed like this at all. Nothing at all. And I've almost always been a themed scrapbooker. If I am scrapbooking school, I've got school supplies. If I'm scrapbooking the zoo, I've got animals. But I'm working on spreading my wings and changing that up some. Not just because I want to change how I scrap. I'm just growing and learning. And I think that that's just part of when you do something, whether it's your job or your hobby or whatever, for long enough, I think that you start to learn and change and grow. And I don't see anything wrong with that. So I have been doing this for 26, 27 years because I started in 1996 or 96. Although I have found a scrapbook from when I was in junior high. So really I've been scrapbooking longer than that, but I officially got my first creative memories thing in 1996. So now that I have gone over that, I backed all of these planets with white cardstock because they're from the dollar store and they're clear. They're colored, but they're clear. And I knew that they would disappear into that black background or wherever they were. So I matted them in white and fussy cut them out. And then with this Future Explorer, I just put that up at the top, and I'm going to move the word Explorer over a little to give a gap so that they're kind of evened out up there. And then I cut a strip of paper from a Die Cuts with a View. I think it's called Luna. And I cut a strip for the bottom that's in a very similar blue. And I already had this little cut apart that says our friendship is written in the stars. And I just fussy cut around that and then matted it on white and fussy cut around that so that it stands out in that bottom right corner. And I saved it specifically for this picture because our friendship is definitely definitely a godsend, because man, the two of us have been through a lot of stuff and we've been there for each other throughout. So, and we both will do the goofy, crazy things. So anyway, that's it. So here is Caryn's sketch again. Like I said, super up for interpretation. I think that it has a lot of potential for different things. So I will be setting this aside and using it again in the future. Here is the close-ups of my layout. And I really do love the way it turned out. I hope that you all, there I am. I hope that you all will go to the playlist and check it out. There is so much inspiration to be had there. I cannot wait to see how other people interpret this sketch. It is such a fun experience. So, I hope you all have a great day. I hope you'll come back and see me again. I will be here a little later on today with a layout and my Christmas in June. I hope you get a chance today to do something you love with someone you love. Happy scrapping!